time, your gateway to the world. A-F-R! American Freedom Radio. Give it to them.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and happy Thursday. What is today? March 28, 2013, and hope you are having a lovely early spring day. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Soul Journeys Radio on AmericanFreedomRadio.com. It is Thursday, which means we are joined by the irreverent Saint Toby One Kenobi, otherwise known as Tobias Lars. He is the author of one of my favorite books, Listening to the Sun.
I am not irreverent.
No, interrupter is what I meant to say. No, he's not irreverent at all. And
Dominator of conversations, no respecter of other people's personality. Yes, I agree. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's all right. Good. I just wanted to plug your book and all of your wonderful work at courseofawakening.com. And seriously, his book is one of my favorite books ever, Listening to the Sun and Awakening Souls, which you can find at his website, soulcounseling.com. He is a personal awakening coach as well, but he's also kind of an asshole sometimes. So
what? I was going to say a personal soul molester, too. I will trigger your soul into, you're going to be so irritated with me that you're going to have to awaken. It's like the 300-pound man therapy. You know what that is? The 300-pound man therapy. You know what that is?
I'm scared.
It's you get a 300-pound fat, sweaty man to lay on you for 25 minutes, and you feel so damn good when he gets off.
Oh, God, when he gets off. I'm not touching that one. We're supposed to have a normal topic here tonight, Tobias. We're actually going to get to the material, and no fun and games allowed, damn it.
Absolutely not. This is serious stuff. Spirituality is serious, dour. You have to look like an Ayatollah or a Pope or a Dalai Lama. Otherwise, it's not the real spirituality, damn it.
That's right. And I'm not letting you put out any more fart jokes.
Me? You.
Oh, the blame game. I see how you're teaching us here tonight.
Yes. All the rules apply to all of you, but none of them apply to me because I'm beyond all the rules. Correct.
That's right. Noelle warned us. You're God.
Any good guru and teacher, just, the rules don't apply to them. It's just it has to apply to all the disciples. You guys need to work in the kitchen. You need to slave. You need to give me all your money, all your inheritances. You need to sign all your possessions over to me. And if you work really, really hard for 20 years and sweat and toil for me, then maybe if you're not stupid enough and slow enough, you might have a shot at getting real awakening or going to heaven or having real enlightenment. Doubtful, though. You're going to have to work real... Shut up. Would you mind... Shut up. Would you mind doing that over there? That's annoying me while I'm watching while I'm watching porn on my computer. I'm speaking now as a guru, folks. As a guru, folks. Or any preacher, any teacher, any priest, anywhere. Please, would you mind praying over there? It's making me feel guilty about my internet viewing habits.
Awesome. No wonder I got all that crap on my computer after you sent me those links.
What?
Jeez. Yeah, now we know. It's Tobias and his porn.
Oh, what happened?
I have no idea. We had real topics.
We are going to get to parallel lifetimes, alternate realities.
Right.
There's some good... Right, sure. Never happens. And there's practical uses for this, too. If there's people that annoy you or aspects of people that you don't like, you can take that aspect and you can open a wormhole and just send that portion of them into that wormhole, and it disappears, at least for 1 billion years. It'll come back to haunt you, but you'll have a long vacation. There are some
wormhole.
Wormhole, exactly. For Beavis and Butthead. We had some amazing conversations on Facebook this week. I was like, oh my Lord. I was like, literally, I was a preview. Joy and I went to lunch, and the car right next to us is like, big license plate, Arizona, says Beavis on it, and then I immediately tap into Casey doing his Butthead imitation. Exactly. And so then when I get back home from that, there's this huge conversation. Beavis, he's not that intelligent, but my inner redneck, I'm blaming it on Mark, his inner redneck started channeling through me, and we had this long thread on Facebook about gay and spooning, and it was just ridiculous.
It was a full-on orgy.
Oh, it was too much. I loved it. It started with a photograph. I love this photograph. Here's a older gentleman, maybe in his 70s, a little old gray and retired, probably has a lot of time on his hands. And he has a big placard. It's got to be 4 foot by 3 foot, holding it up, handwritten, that says, people who sell guns should be held as accomplices in crime, right? And it's kind of then the guy next to him looks just like Larry the Cable Guy. Like, right. I like Larry. He's kind of fun. So you have that guy very sincerely with his big placard, some kind of middle-class guy from Connecticut. I can say that because I grew up in Connecticut, right? Standing there. And then you have this guy, you can tell his friend's taking the picture. And Larry the Cable Guy look-alike creeps in from, frame right, And he's got a big card, too, that they probably just found a cardboard box on the side of the road, and they painted something on it. And he's got these crude pictures of spoons, and it says, spoons made me fat. like this huge guy. And I said, do I dare put this out there, since gun control is like a super hot button issue now? Anyway, the looks on the two faces. The older gentleman, you can tell he snaps his head to the left, and he sees this Larry the Cable Guy with a big card that says, spoons made me fat, like guns are bad type thing. Anyway, long story. That's what initiated it.
I think guns are great. We can get rid of a lot of people like you on this planet. Hell, bring them on. Everyone should have 10. One for each finger.
Let's talk abortion while we're at it.
Shoot all jerks.
Let's bring up the Holocaust and the Palestinians and child molestation and gun control and abortion and your religion. Let's just do it all at once. Spontaneously combust from the collective hatred of these. Oh my God. We're not going to do that.
We are off to a wonderful start tonight, aren't we?
Yeah. See, that we healed right there. We saved minor star systems in the Dagobah system. We saved a whole moon right now just by bringing up that little bit of truth-telling without actually delving into the fighting about it. I hope you can see it. I put that picture on Facebook, by the way, of the car. Who would get a license plate that says Beavis on it? I don't know. And it was a
really cool person that, has a good personality and wants to bring a smile and joy to people's faces and hearts. How about that?
Probably some damn liberal thing guy who was driving a VW. That's suspect to begin with.
I want a Cartman license plate. Respect my authority.
I was like, the universe will play with you. I mean, this year it's been crazy for me. I swear. Whoever I'm talking to on the phone, cars will drive up and park next to me that has their name on it. That's exactly what I'm talking about at that time. Super coincidences, synchronicity, The universe longs to play with us. It really does. It does anyway. We're just always rejecting it, Kind of like
let that one go. You're pitching way too many softballs tonight. But in regards to synchronicity, I hear the more you talk about it, the more it happens.
That sounds good. Go with that. We're just making it up. We're making it up as we go, really. So whatever you believe, so it becomes. Yeah, if I think about it, it'll happen. But some people go, hey, I never thought of that. So, yeah, that'll happen too. It's just really all, feel this for a second. I'm a blank slate. I'm a pure ball, egg. I know, don't go there. I'm a pure egg of consciousness. I'm a shamanic egg of source energy. And I can make it up, really. So if you put in belief systems, you'll prove it to yourself. See. You'll prove it to yourself. And I'll give you one. But they can be different. They can be totally different. Like little subatomic particles. This is starting to happen for research scientists, physicists with those giant linear accelerators, hadron colliders, in CERN and Geneva. I forget where they have the newest one. And they will invent particles. And these particles, sure enough, if the scientists believe, hey, there's a new particle, that particle shows up. Very short time, milliseconds, and then disappears, and they get a photograph of it in the liquid gamma, whatever it is, tanks. They get photos of these spirals. But then, if they don't keep believing in that particle, subatomic particle, it goes away. Wow. Let me hear that again. If they don't keep believing, it goes away. It's such fine energies that if enough of the scientists go, yes, it looks like such is happening, then it takes one and starts it, and then you build a religion, a morphic field, a belief system about that particular thing. It starts showing up more and more. But if you take your attention away, the part gets starting to. I know, and you hold a little golf ball in the center of it, and there's a few specks of dust floating around the nosebleed section of the seats. That's an atom. The dust floating way out there is the electrons, and the nucleus is that golf ball. But that's even a lie, because they don't exist either. The nucleus, protons, and neutrons, they don't even exist either. This is going to dovetail, by the way, into our topic. It's all energy. It's all energy that we clothe, collapse into form by our belief systems and how we expect to see it. How many times have people expected certain things, and sure enough, that's exactly what happens?
Yeah,
it's in your expectation. Now, whether that expectation is conscious, subconscious, unconscious, or so primal you never even knew it was conscious, it is still a reality-generating machine. Your reality around you is being generated by what you've accepted or consciously allowed to be put in that you've then forgotten and goes into unconsciousness. This is why when you start to wake up, the walls start quaking and the earth starts shaking, okay?
Mm-hmm.
She told me to come, but I was already there. Okay, never mind. AC/DC. AC/DC, yes. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the earth starts shaking, the walls start quaking, because when you're starting to merge with the oneness, it all starts melting together. And you start realizing whether that's St. Anthony doing it in his little cave in Egypt, and when he's melting and the jackals are coming off the wall, and it's not hallucination. It is an actual melting of the atoms that are already melted. This little dream state can happen in a in-between state as you just wake up in the morning. I think I have a video about that on YouTube, about that when you're just waking up, often you find yourself like, I don't know exactly where I am, who I am, what time, who cares, there's no such thing as time. That in-between state is between the worlds, between the dimensions. And then it collapses back into, oh yeah, I'm back in my room, and then you look at your clock, and that further collapses it into reality. I've not worn a clock for 20 years, a watch, because Greenwich Mean Time is very mean to you. Greenwich Mean Time is very mean to you. The uptight Brits, the stiff upper lip and all that, Mad Dogs and Englishmen, kidding, I'm joking, relax. I love Britain. I'd like to go there again. I used to live there as a kid. I used to wear those little shorts and that little tiny hat that Angus Young from AC/DC got so damn angry at that he still wears it 30 years later at every gig they do. Because that was the little schoolboy uniform that we all hate. We don't want to be uniform. You don't want to be made out of the uniform, the one form. You want to be your own individual expression. Yeah. So this time thing, before there was time, like the Aborigines, they lived in dream time, no time. I've experienced that. I've experienced no time. And we can talk about some real-life examples so we get encouraged when we come back.
All right, ready for some no time space here. We will be right back, everyone. Tobias Lars here on SoulJourneysRadio.com.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
No rules. No rules. No taboo topics. No taboo topics. No fear of doom. No fear of doom. We are American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
All right, welcome back, and thanks for joining us here tonight. Soul Journeys Radio on AmericanFreedomRadio.com. And if you would like to join our happy little family in the text chat, that's over at SoulJourneysRadio.com. Any questions or comments, please feel free to give us a call tonight at 218-339-8525. That's 218-339-8525. The topic tonight, parallel lives, alternate timelines, multiple dimensions, and realities, soul fragments, and all of that fun stuff. So, Tobias, you gave us a whole lot to think about in the first segment. My particular favorite was Beavis. But now that we're actually moving on, we got all the laughs and jokes out of us. But yeah, we left off talking about no time space. Somebody was asking on the chat something like, what was time before clocks or clocks before time? Exactly.
So we've heard of, I was joking about Greenwich Mean Time is mean to you. Greenwich is a little town, like southwest of London, that has a line running right down through the middle of town. It's marked with some big metal thing in the street there, and that's the center of the universe, because the British, they of course used to run the whole planet, right? They had, the sun never sets on the British Empire, blah, blah, blah. India, Australia, off into Hong Kong and parts of China and the Pacific and Hawaii and Tahiti and off, America, Canada, etc., right? The British Empire. So they set themselves at the center of the universe, meaning the clock starts here in Greenwich. And then there's time zones, right? And the international date line is way out in the Pacific. Does the Earth have does the Earth, Mother Earth, feel her from space now?
Yeah.
Does she have countries, boundaries on her? Can you see those from space?
Exactly.
No. Can you see time zones from space? Are these marked with little dotted lines, and the zero is at Greenwich in England and the British Isles? Of course not. These are arbitrary, made-up measuring things. Are there natural, energetic effects? Yes. There's something called the Van Allen belts that look like if you took an apple and you put the earth in, like, took a pretty big apple and made the earth the size of a golf ball, and you stuck the golf ball in the center of the apple, then the outside of that apple, that's what the Van Allen belts would look like, that shape, that torus field that's coming into remembrance now with energy systems, free energy systems. It happens also to be how we work with our heart field. Our heart field, God showed me like 8-10 years ago. He said, this is what your heart field looks like. And now there's the Heart Math Institute and all these people yakking about it. It's beautiful. It's time to Year of the Heart. We try to call 2013. It's time to start reawakening to this. So those energy fields are real. The ley lines in the earth, the electromagnetic fields, that's real. Arbitrary country lines and arbitrary timelines are just us making up. What? When you drive from Knoxville to Memphis, all of a sudden magically it got an hour earlier?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, it's right here that it changed. No, those are obviously a invented system by humans. Time was much softer, more fluid, more graduated. Obviously, the earth spins, and there is a sunrise and a sunset. But the time is a softer flowing into itself gradually through the day. This is why Aboriginal tribes in Australia live in dream time. They call it. We live in the dream. All the earth.
Eventually. Uh-oh. I hear nothing.
And we're back.
Ah, we are. Woo, that was cool. All right.
That was quick. So any native cultures have had a hard time when the rigid British and the French and the Spanish come to colonize South America, North America, India, Africa, wherever. The Portuguese first, then the Spanish. Watch out, we'll get a history lesson here.
Yeah, no thank you.
We'll go to sleep. But I mean, that's why in Brazil they speak Portuguese, because the little Portuguese, they got there first and said, well, take Brazil, right? It's obvious. And New England, etc., blah, blah, blah. You know, even the Swedes had a little colony. Even the little Swedish people had a little colony around Delaware at one point. We were trying to get over and, get the raw materials from these unspoiled places. But dream time was more natural. It wasn't a clock. When you lock it down, as you think, as the consciousness thinks, so it becomes. And then it gets digitized, even less flexible. This is why in the music industry, Pearl Jam spearheaded it. Let's go back to vinyl, because at least vinyl has a little more warmth to it. And now they're trying to find old machines with, it's a tube. It's tube amps instead of digital amps, Because there's a warmth to the organic and there's a coldness to the measured, staccato, mathematical, Greenwich, mean time, digitized universe. We will all turn into the little gray guys with no emotions whatsoever. And, it's, ugh, for those that don't like that. So you shut off the magic, just like the song by John Anderson that we just heard coming in here. It taught me to be sensible, logical, responsible, practical. They shut off the young boy's heart, right, and put you into that scene from Pink Floyd's We Don't Need No Education. We're all robots being cranked through the meat grinder, right? So when you shut down a reality, look how fast North America was shut down.
Yeah.
200 years ago, boom. 200 years ago, 18-something, there was... Okay, let's go back even further. 300 years ago, which is nothing. 300 years is nothing. It's like your grandfather, it's like people lived 100 years. That's just 3 people. If people live 100 years, 300 years, just 3 people. It's nothing.
Yeah.
2,000 years ago is nothing. Jesus was just here. Buddha they were just here. There's nothing. Millions of years, a little longer. But time is made up.
Yeah, definitely.
Time is a construct made up by consciousness. Therefore, timelessness, when you enter timelessness a little bit on your walk as a saint, like Saint Teresa, made famous by angels and demons, Dan Brown, the ecstasy of Saint Teresa. You've heard me say it before. She would go into these these states where she entered timelessness. And then the fellow nuns, they'd watch her, and her eyes aren't blinking, her heart stopped, she looks kind of frozen. She's not frozen, really. She's still. She's gone completely quiet and completely still. This is the exact same thing as Nirvikalpa Samadhi for yogis. You go into the timeless state, which is why yogis can be buried for 40 days under the earth, or St. Teresa can go into 10 days of not moving, and her heart doesn't even beat, but she will come back and say, I was spending it with my Lord, with Jesus. These are real states. Time is made up. Feel it for a minute. Time is, you know that? Because sometimes time passes really quick, and other times it drags really, really slow. Usually having to do with something like you resisting the hell out of whatever's happening, and time seems to slow way down, right?
Yes, it does.
And if you're having a really
like when we're at work.
Yeah. And when you're having a really good time and you're starting to get in the flow of all that is, boom, things just happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so time is made up. So this industrialization of the world needed time clocks, for it needs people to show up on time. Get off time. Hey, you, get off my cloud. Get off of time. Get off it. Get off it. Get off time if you don't like time. Do you like feeling stressed by time? Well, then get off it. Get under it. Get through it. Undo it. You can. Start what you think about, what you dwell upon starts coming your way. What you contemplate starts revealing itself to you. So if you start contemplating, how can I play with time? Now the universe this will start happening for you. Now the universe is so graceful, God, source, love, our own higher spirit souls, is so graceful, we will do it to ourselves, knock ourselves on the head sometimes. Sometimes.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Now we're going to start that Pink Floyd song, right?
Time.
Yes.
Time.
The reason Pink Floyd is so powerful is because they're tapping into these archetypes, suns, without the religionism crap. Dark side of the moon, time, money. That's why they're the biggest selling group ever, and they're the wizards of higher magic. And whether they know it or not, I think Gilmore and Roger Waters do know it. Maybe it's the drummer that knows it. Often it's the guy that you expect the least that knows the most. In the sacred native ceremonies, often the firekeeper, the guy who just plays dumb, and I've said that before, who's just bringing in wood for the fire. It takes 10 years for the apprentices to realize he's the real shaman.
Yeah.
He's just, no, I don't know anything. I just bring in the firewood. And then, he's the teacher, but he never says anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start feeling deeper. If you don't like the current stressful use of time against you, time is used against you a lot, you better be around time or you're not a good person. This is why native cultures and tribes...
Isn't that funny? We actually think that, oh my gosh, I'm 5 minutes late, I suck, and beat ourselves up and have more guilt and press for more time and set our alarms, 30 minutes early so we can hit the snooze button 3 or 4 times before we actually get up. It's crazy. Oh, God, I hate that sound.
There's your alarm clock. What is this, a frickin' 10-alarm fire? Life is an emergency?
Wake up, no more dreaming, no more accessing the other realms and other worlds. Go be a good little slave for minimum wage.
It's crazy once you start seeing it. So I know, it was a conscious decision, too. I don't want a wristband around my... It's like wearing a probation anklet or something, wearing a wristwatch.
It is. You're on house arrest. You're
locked into time. And this obsession, of course, the anal Swiss, would come up with Swiss chronometers. I'm teasing. It is true.
Aw, the Swiss are cool. They make good cheese.
And chocolate. And the Germans and the Swedes are close behind in anality. And I'm one of them. I know
I've noticed that with you, for sure. Wait a minute. I'm that too. Never mind.
Right. Christie?
Yeah. Well, the Greek counterbalances the anal. Never mind. Never mind. That was bad. We're not going there. It could get worse.
Yogurt, and let's have some cheese and some. Let's go down to the beach and hang out for a while. No, anyway. So time is made up. Time is a construct. Feel it. Consciousness, obviously, before time, what was there? There was no time. Before time, there was no time. So when you read these histories of the earth, and when you try to feel them, they will make no sense from our current way of looking at time. The Mayas, I'll give you an example. The Mayas are galactic travelers around our galaxy that insert themselves into certain places. See, when you flip the inversion of space-time is time is stretched out linearly, and space, you can move around in space, right? Like if I travel, it takes time right here. If I travel to New Mexico, well, you can bring up your story a little bit, Christie. You know, if I get in the car and travel to the Wolf Adventure, it takes me about 5 hours in my car, normally. Now, I've played with that and said I don't want it to take that long, and I have had success with it being 2 hours shorter than normal.
Excellent. Ooh, I want to hear about that, Tobias, because things like that happen to me sometimes. The only problem is it doesn't happen when I want it to. So let's talk about that, and it'd be cool to be able to manipulate it on my own volition, but it is that time. We will be right back. Tobias Lars here on SoulJourneysRadio.com.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
Yo, what's up? Check this out. The voice of the revolution. American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
All right, I think we are back. Woohoo!
I'm there.
Welcome back, Soul Journeys Radio on AmericanFreedomRadio.com. with St. Toby One Kenobi. And Toby, we left off talking about stretching time and times where you would go to New Mexico, a 5-hour drive that would only take you 3 hours.
So sometimes our soul, am I unmuted? Yes, I am. Very good. I'm learning.
You're doing great. You get a star. I'm going to pin it on your forehead. With a note. Pinned T-shirt to take home to Mommy and have her sign it and make sure she knows, or that we know that she knows what a good boy you've been.
Oh, can I have it pinned to my ass instead, please?
Definitely. I'll use a tack for that.
All right. Tackless tacks. Okay. So, our souls reach in and try to remind us. We're doing it to ourselves. So most of us have experienced somewhere some kind of loss of time or extra time or slowing down of time as that truck is heading towards you, or, melting of dimensions. Many people have experienced a slowing down, speeding up, a choosing, an ability to choose, time almost stopping completely and stopping completely. And you can do it. It seems like it goes into slow motion, like your whole life flashes before your eyes. You're sliding on the ice on the highway, and you can feel this choice of what to do. These things happen. Or dematerialization of cars. There's so many people that have stories of that truck was coming right towards me, and then it went right through us somehow. There's many stories like that, where actually like the molecules pass through each other. And we think these are miracles. They're not. It's a temporary shutting off of the belief systems of the people involved in the cars. If you kind of go default back, see, and they think it's it's not super magic. Feel this. God's source, our own higher self, that knows that it's all made up. It's all liquid. It's all not even energy. See, there's something beyond chi. I was talking to someone about that today. Tai Chi, Qigong, Chi, life force, prana. Something makes that up. See, if you're an energy master, you still haven't mastered consciousness. You may be able to heal people and be a wizard and create fire coming out of your palm or something, you know, and you master your chi. But what created the chi? There's something we would... Consciousness. Source energy. These are just words, I understand. But we are that source energy, that consciousness. So when you revert to that for an instant, feel this. All of a sudden, all your beliefs are gone. You have no preconceived notions. You are nothing and everything. Could not nothing and everything pass through each other, even if it's in the form of an 18-wheeler tractor trailer and your car? Of course it can. So that's why, quote, these miracles happen out there. Because it's not time. Our souls have to override it, or, you know, the angels step in. This is normal. This happened millions of times today on Earth. It's happening now, all the time, 24/7. Millions of miracles all the time, 24/7, because there is no time. The Earth is never asleep. The city that never sleeps, so it's the planet that never sleeps. Because it's always spinning and revolving. So these things happen. So, yeah, I've driven up to Pine Top in Arizona. It took about a 3-hour drive. And on the way home, I said, no. And so what came up to visualize for me, see, your mind will make this up. What you're tapping into is your subconscious, deeper than the hypnotic states. You know, you can mess with hypnotism. Hypnotism can be a trespass into people's subconscious, and you can do temporary things. But eventually the soul goes, hey, get off of my cloud, get out of my head, you know. So you can misuse hypnotism. I'm talking about the deeper realities. So what came up for me to do, I'm coming home from Pine Top, I really don't want to spend the 3-hour drive right now. It's dark and, you know, headlights and cars and stuff. And I just felt this thing about, I saw a clock face and I kind of sped up time. Like I just did this little spiral thing with my hand. Just felt to do it. Follow your instincts, your intuition. Yeah. Be silly. Oh, I shouldn't do that. That's not scientific. Okay,
That's so childish. Come on, Tobias. Grow up. I mean, be mature.
Yeah, fun. Lots of fun.
Come ye as stiff anal assholes. It's logical. That is so against science.
Come on, girls. Who do you want to go on a date with? Spock or
Spandex dude, what's his name? Mr. Spandy?
Spandy Andy.
Yeah, there we go. He's awesome.
Love him. He's so good. All right, David Lee Roth in his heyday or Spock. That's your choice. Come on. Or whoever you want to pick today.
Exactly.
I was just rewatching David Lee Roth. I was never into Van Halen at all. I just thought they were a party band, you know. But he's actually a very cool soul, as a soul. He's not just with that image at all. And that has to do with looking deeper into who beings really are. So time is flexible. So I just saw this thing where I sped up the clock face, like I spun the dials, and that's a symbol. This is sympathetic magic now, which I've not studied. All this stuff is revealed to you. As you start having a closer walk with the universe, you will start understanding everything. So it says, just see that image, hold the intent, and I got home in 2 hours instead of 3.5.
I tell you, Tobias, I've had multiple experiences like that. The problem is, like, I mean, after it happens the first time, you're like, damn, this is cool. I can go to Pennsylvania in, 2 hours, or I can get to Arizona in, 10 hours instead of 15. But I think the last 3 times I went out there, I had to drive the whole damn, oh wait, what am I talking about? 10 hours. It's 24 hours. So I could get there in like 18. But the last few times I've had to drive the whole 24 hours. I'm like, what, are the gods mad at me, or what's going on? Why is it, like, when I try to make it happen, it doesn't, but when I'm not thinking about it, it just does it when it wants to for some crazy reason.
Yeah, there's some magic here about surrender, and we develop belief systems about it. Don't look too closely at the miracle. Kind of just notice it out of the corner of your eye. A watched pot never boils. If you watch the clock, it will go even slower than normal. Like,
I could have really used that coming home from Arizona the last time, because it was like in pain. The 24 hours turned into, it seemed like 4 days. I definitely drove every single mile. I was aware of it. And it's like, what am I doing wrong? The other times it's so magical. And you know what? Honestly, I love driving. I really do. I love checking out all the new sights and the beauty and just magical. I really love it. It's my best meditation time. No joke. But, sometimes it's like, can I just get home now?
There's something about surrender for me. It's like, okay, I accept it completely. And then somehow I start melting back into a more fluid universe. There's something about, and it has to do with not controlling it, but surrendering to it. These are words, I know, and it's frustrating. But so be intrigued with it. I do it like, okay, I'm intrigued with it. And hearing stories helps sow the seed. You can just go, okay, I'm open to it. I allow my soul to be more flexible with me. I allow my personality to loosen up a little bit as far as it comes to space-time. I'll give you another one out in the Superstition Mountains. Now, there it's already funky space-time out there. There's all kinds of old stories of the natives when people arrived here. They walked straight into this solid rock wall and disappeared. Well, yeah, because they saw the portal when the other people didn't.
Yeah.
And they're still there. So years ago, a friend of mine and I used to spend a spring out there, and I still go out sometimes. And if people come visit me and want to do a vision quest in the off-season when it's, winter time everywhere else, we can go out in the Superstition Mountains and spend 2 or 3 days, and you will have some fun stuff happen to your reality. Now, you might get really scared, too. But if you're ready, it's very powerful. In that movie, that John Carter movie, that didn't do so well, but it's really pretty cool about Mars. It's actually very accurate. Disney made this $100 million movie called John Carter. It's an old Edgar Rice Burroughs novel, the guy who wrote Tarzan. He wrote a book called John Carter about this time travel, too. We'll get back.
Okay, I'll definitely have to check that out. But I want to talk more about this when we come back after this short break. Tobias Lars, he is the author of Listening to the Sun and Awakening Souls, which you can find at his website, soulcounseling.com. He is a personal awakening coach and the creator of Course of Awakening. And if you can't see him in person, you can go to or visit one of his online teleseminars Sundays and now on Saturdays for people overseas in different time zones, even though they don't exist. We will be right back, everyone. Stay tuned. SoulJourneysRadio.com.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
No rules, no rules. No taboo topics, no taboo topics. No fear of doom, no fear of doom. We are American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
All right. Welcome back. Top of the second hour here tonight with St. Toby One Kenobi. That is Tobias Lars here on Soul Journeys Radio on AmericanFreedomRadio.com. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to give us a call at 218-339-8525. That's 218-339-8525. And if you'd like to join us for the text chat, that's over at souljourneysradio.com. Tobias Lars is the author of Listening to the Sun and Awakening Souls, which you can find at his website, soulcounseling.com. And if you are unable to see him in person, check him out at courseofawakeningsseminar.com. And he's been doing teleseminars Sunday nights and now introducing Saturdays for people in other parts of the globe. So, woohoo! All right.
I love those have been going really nice. We've had 8 or 12 people for each one of the first few.
Excellent.
And we can do as many as possible. But if you want to get in early a little bit, and have some personal time, that's great. Yeah, and I'm adding Saturdays on Skype for people. And that'll be about midday in America, about 6 o'clock in England, 7 o'clock at night in Europe. For people internationally, you can participate without having to pay, obviously long-distance phone charges. On Skype, it is free. You just need a Skype account. And then on Sunday nights, 6 o'clock on the West Coast, 9 o'clock on the East Coast, we'll keep doing the tele-classes. And, it's a great way of coming together and some practical healing and help. And I used to love doing those, actually.
He used to love them. Now he hates it.
No, when I would call in and receive help from other people,
Yeah.
I like Dr. Alberto Villoldo. His energy, his shamanic energy, feels pretty clean to me. And I used to participate in his, So it's a very helpful way for us to have new community nowadays, that you find a lot of the people you really connect and relate with sometimes are online or, in other parts of the world. So I wanted to offer that. And we do have some miracles happen as well. We have some fun, energetic flow. And if you relax enough, that's what happens. If we relax enough, space-time starts to melt. I was going to say earlier, there's another part. When you flip out of space-time here and go into time-space, when you move around in the galaxy, you're moving in time because of relativity and light years and so forth. Right now, there is no now. There is no permanent time. It's all made up. The Mayans are galactic space-time travelers. I was shown this one time, me and a teacher who were feeling into how they did those pyramids and how they created things that they did. They inserted their civilization almost overnight, those stones. It wasn't the labor, sweat, and toil that we do now. Same with the Great Pyramid of Giza, by the way. There are some stories, and it's accurate from one perspective. That pyramid was there one morning. That pyramid was there one morning. Because when you're dealing with no time, you have all the time in the world. Like I've shared before, in a business meeting years ago, me and a partner had time stop. We both saw this. A portal, like an opening, like it looked like an arched gateway, opened in the corner of the room. We could walk out of the room. We spent about 20 minutes talking about what we needed to present to these, how to answer a certain question, while everything else was frozen in the room.
Yeah.
Now, this happened with another aspect of myself. This is happening to all of us all the time. So when your mind complains and goes, that never happens to me. I'm just a lunk of bacon-eating unconsciousness. No.
Therefore, it's impossible.
Right. That negative, that stuff is not true. The one thing, as you start waking up, you realize, oh, my God, I had these things happen to me all the time. I just filtered them out.
Ah, yeah.
I just filtered them out. So our souls give us these nudges. So I've had a few enough now that I don't freak out when it starts happening. Now, I can't command it and control it, like you were saying, Christie. I can't say, let it happen now. No, it doesn't work that way.
Let there be time travel.
Yeah, that's the mind, ego, Luciferian, if you believe in that stuff, wanting to control and dominate and
yes.
You know, the militaristic control. No, there's a cooperation, a co-flow.
Yeah, I don't even like to tell people about it because, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. That's like where people are, we'll do it now, or do this, or do that. You know, it's like, you don't understand. And let me tell you what you don't understand, never mind, because I don't understand it either.
Exactly.
It just, I don't know. I wish I understood why. I don't. I wish I could put it into words. I can't, and I'm perfectly happy not even trying and kind of going with the flow. And, you know, it's like a ride at Disneyland. However, there are times, like I said, where, you know, it would be cool to just do it at will.
And we do. When we start letting go of, when we let go of judgment and we let go of personal history and we start, then things seem to happen more easily. Something like this, if anybody's listening who wants to play with this, have an intention from your heart. Drop into your heart. It's always the heart that's central. If you're in the mind, it's tougher. It's hard work. The mind is in sweat and toil and the IRS and taxes and lawyers and regulations and schedules and forms and all that stuff. That's Saturnian. That's, you know, it's stuff that's not very fluid. Mercury, and I'm not an astrologer, I'm just hearing this right now. So Mercury, Neptune, more flow, water, you know, movement. If you drop into your heart, the heart's more fluid. And you have an intention. I want this to be easier for me. I want to work with my kids better. I want the dog to stop chewing the furniture. Whatever it is. I want my sex life to be better. Have an intention. I want this to feel better to me. Have the intention. Dwell upon it, like swing in that swing for a while, of what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Most people are so programmed, they're like, I'm not allowed to ask for myself. What do you want? God has been saying so strong this whole year, start all your courses, Tobias, with ask people what they want. Because it is in the desire and the wanting and the calling out. Ask, and then you may have a shot at receiving. If you don't block it, right? With your programs and beliefs. That's okay. We're learning. Forgive yourself. So have an intention of what you want. And then just sort of like you just drop it into the universe. Just let it go out into the universe. Like, okay, forget about it. Move on. Do something else. Yeah. That seems to be how it happens. Something like that. Start playing with that. And then acknowledge when you go, wow, I had that thought. I wanted that. And here it is.
Yeah.
So say to yourself, I'm willing to receive it and acknowledge it and notice it. Because just like your puppy likes to be acknowledged, right? Your kitty cat. When you acknowledge the kitty cat, she arches her back and says, thank you. Right? Yeah. And so acknowledge the universe, then it wants to play with you more. Or you'll notice it more. Yeah. So something like that. So time is flexible. One time in the superstitions, and I know you've got a great story about you and the girls traveling through space-time. Instant translation, meaning you move from one place instantly to another, is when a portal opens in space-time here and you flip into time-space or something, you can instantly relocate. This is how the UFOs pop in and out of existence. They're not traveling. There's no G-force. They're playing with being in different places by dialing that in, just the way masters do, just the way Jesus does, Babaji, you know, Krishna, Buddha, Mataji, what's her name, Kuan Yin, and thousands of other saints on this planet. They pop in and out of places. We can too, because Once you're one with the ocean, you can crystallize salt anywhere. Feel that. Once you're one with the ocean, you can crystallize salt anywhere in the ocean because the salt is everywhere in the ocean.
Yeah.
You can crystallize your body anywhere you choose. This is true. I know I'm speaking super ideally in a future of our powers reawakened and remembered. But it's important to sow these seeds. Otherwise, we're like going to be like the Borg here if we listen to the world government people.
Gonna
right?
be?
Yeah, right. Yeah. You know, so time, space. So in the superstition, we had hiked up this canyon, and we had seen these amazing stone formations, literally huge river rocks that were piled 5, 10, 8, 10 feet tall on top of each other, like they were standing sentinels in this corner, this sharp bend in the river where you literally had to wade through the water because there was solid rock walls on each, and then they had built these things up out of the water, somebody. And when we saw them, we felt them tapping us into the other dimensions, and we could feel these Hohokam, the ancient ones that used to live in the Valley of the Sun, that had walked away from this dimension because they weren't interested in fighting with the colonialists, the pioneers. And we tapped into them, and we actually got a message and talked to them. And we didn't talk to them physically at that point. We walked farther, about a mile upstream. We followed the stream all the way back home. But on the way home, it was getting dark, and we both said, well, let's focus on the beginning of the trail. Let's see if it wasn't a conscious process. It was a wish in our hearts that we wouldn't have to clamber. It's pretty heavy hiking back there in the dark, you know. Yeah. So boom, all of a sudden we're back in a half hour. It took us 2 hours to get up. We never passed these amazing stone formations or that part of the creek where you had to wade through the water, and it does not divide. It made no rational sense whatsoever. That's another example for me. We both noticed it, you know.
Awesome.
Another friend of this same friend I was with, he told me about another time. He was with a friend. They were talking about Saint Germain and Jesus, and they were tapping, and they were having lunch in this little restaurant, and they were just talking about this very thing, about being able to pop in and out of places back and forth. And I'm sowing seeds here. Just receive these natural abilities we are all going to reawaken to, and the quicker we do, the less prison planet you'll create. Okay? So as they stepped out of the restaurant, they literally, with one step, traveled 1 mile. They were all the way back to the house, the seminar location. They stepped out of the restaurant, that one step out into the sidewalk in the rain, all of a sudden they were in front of the house.
Awesome.
Boom. Because they had been talking about it, dwelling upon it, contemplating it, inviting it in, and their conscious mind was not looking for it, like Christie pointed out. It just happened. Now, people might go, Dutch Creed, it's not possible. That's your reality. If you say it's not possible, you're damn sure it's not going to happen for you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you really believe it or you're scared of it. The universe is very... See, that doesn't work either. Some people say, I don't believe it at all, and it happens to them. Because a portion of them, their soul, their deeper self, does believe in it and has experienced it and wants it. See, what people say with their mouths and their brains is like 8% of the reality.
Yeah.
What people say with their brains and their mouths, that's the minor portion of reality.
And it is possible that even, the people that like, oh, well, that's not possible and that'll never happen. It is possible that it is happening, but their logical mind won't let them remember it because they blocked it out of the realm of possibilities.
Exactly. And we continually rearrange the past. We continually rearrange the past, just like those old games where you pull like a piece of wood out, or things rearrange. There was some old game they used to have for kids where like everything would rearrange when you pulled one piece out. It continually rearranges by how you're looking at it from the now. I have had this happen with multiple realities. You also have multiple realities happening in the same thing. Now I'll give you a little sexy one, okay?
Ooh, we like that.
Kind of fun. So one of my friends was going to be gifted a healing center. These two women had built this healing center in Arizona. Clients and people in massage and Reiki and healing and group stuff and therapy, client rooms, like a doctor's office. but for alternative healing. And he was going to be really good. Invited a bunch of us down. Right, a bunch of us down there to go, hey, let's feel this too. So we had a meeting. There's about 30 of us in there. Who wants to participate? What do you guys think? Do we want to do this? Do we want to create a healing center? And the woman I was with at the time is there. And then these two other women that were really kind of in love with my friend who's going to be the director of the place. And later we all got together without my friend, just my girlfriend and the two women that were in love with this other male figure who was going to run the place. Now, they both said that during this public meeting of 30 people, they saw my male friend go up to my girlfriend and grab her breasts, right in public as we're sitting in a circle. Mm-hmm. Now, nobody else saw it. Okay. I didn't see it. I asked my girlfriend, and she goes, no, that didn't happen, and she wouldn't lie to me because I don't really care. It's my friend, and I probably kind of be interested in it anyway. So, all right? So I'm like, I don't remember that, but I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And these two women, very bright women, very strong, one's running a hospital and this and that. They both were in love with my friend, male friend, and so they were projecting this love for him, but he wasn't available for that, for them. And they saw both. So they went into a collective reality where they saw my friend come up and grab my girlfriend. In front of everybody, by the way, which is not privately later. Okay? Yep. And kind of me, I go, ooh, that's interesting. so I go, I didn't see it. Did you see it? No, she didn't see it, my girlfriend. And then I asked Keith, my friend, too, and he said, no, that didn't happen in my reality, but, right? But it was so, and then I tried to explain to the women, isn't it interesting how we have multiple realities we experience in the same situation? Here we have a meeting of 30 people, and you guys experienced this pretty far out thing, right? And they go, no, this wasn't multiple reality. This is the truth. Right? Mm-hmm. They couldn't accept that there was multiple reality experiences. I know this is stretching people's imagination, but let's pick it up.
Let's do that, and we'll see if Tobias will grab my boobies right here during this short break. Hang on, everyone. You're going to need a couple hands, though. We will be right back. SoulJourneysRadio.com.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
Welcome to the world's meeting place. American.
It's practically narcotic.
Freedom.
Oh, yes. I like very much.
Radio.
You're an American institution.
American Freedom Radio.
All right, welcome back, and thanks so much for joining us here tonight. Soul Journeys Radio on AmericanFreedomRadio.com with Tobias Lars, talking about parallel dimensions, alternate timelines, etc. And Tobias, I'm not sure, was that you feeling my boobies, or was that someone else?
Absolutely not. And anyone impersonating me, I'm jealous of. What?
Okay, well, I guess it's up to all of our own perceptions, whether he was really feeling me out or not.
You have Gene right there. Come on. That's not right. Stop it. Better save myself before I get in deeper hot water here. So, no, we left off talking about multiple reality. So what shocked me about these women seeing this, and then I thought they were, going to go, yeah, isn't it amazing that we're feeling multiple realities and noticing? They didn't want to know that. And it's like the ego is very insistent on finding the truth. There's only one truth.
Yeah.
And therefore the story of the elephant, right? The blind people feeling the elephant. One says, it's like a tree trunk. Another says, it's very soft and it's got this thing that's really, I don't know, very sensitive and hairy. It depends on how you're looking at it,
Yeah.
And so it was very interesting to me about multiple realities. See, it's not, even if you turn on a video camera, see, the video cameras and the TVs are trying to lock into place what the truth and the one reality is, when it's a more fluid universe than that. And that's why we can go hiking out here in the mountains up by in north central Phoenix, and I can tap into, my friend and I can actually see these two native Australian didgeridoo guys sitting under this mesquite tree, and we can go hang out with them. Now, we see them in the etheric because the third eye can see it. If we can relax enough, we can pop into a time portal and go meet them in Australia too, because there's instant teleportation. And these guys are shamans playing and living in the dream time, and they're right there. They're just 2 miles from where I'm sitting right now. That's where we met them. A normal day. People out walking their dogs by us. It doesn't matter. You can hide, you can cloak yourself from anywhere. We've practiced becoming invisible at will, too. These are all things, Don Juan-esque type stuff here now, Carlos Castaneda stuff. But it's all real, and it all goes on all the time anyway.
Yes.
And as you start loosening your bounds of reality, there's several ways of doing that. One of them, getting grounded in your body through the inner body, is one of the best. Learning to experience yourself as fluid energy. By the way, it makes everything more fun. Food, sex, partners, blah, 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 knowledge, life in general, health, a lot better the more you start learning to tap into these natural energies that we really are. So time jumping, portal jumping for sure. Mm-hmm. Time stretching, yes. And we didn't touch on multiple...
No, we're definitely going to have to extend this topic till next week. Yeah, so much more.
But so it was very interesting. Once we start, be interested in how other people experience things, And the ego wants to go, yeah, well, they're messed up. I am the one that knows what really happened, and therefore the need for lawyers and courts. Right? Because we want to push our truth and our reality and what really happened on others. And yes, and the less programmed you are, the less coloring, the more blank slate. That's why the Buddhists, the Zen guys say, colorless state of emptiness. Mm. Then you are a blank consciousness slate, and you can allow things more as they are instead of always adding your opinion and pushing your reality on the world around you. Mm. And it becomes a lot more fun that way. And you become a lot more attractive to the universe around you. The universe likes to be noticed. The universe likes to play. The universe loves someone simply appreciating it. It wants to give more when that happens. So the more you heal yourself, the easier things start happening. Water doesn't effort to flow. So when you start becoming no barrier to the flow of life, it wants to take care of you, it wants to love you, it wants to give to you. I love the stories of the ancient avatars in the land of timelessness, way before India is the land still, but it was 50,000 years ago, 100,000, as we measure time. But again, you got to understand, the Mayans just insert their whole culture almost overnight, they do their thing, and then they disappear again. And the current people that are left there now, they're just descendants of some of the Mayan space traveler gods, humans like us, that had sex and, created babies with the local population. Just like the Italians today are not the Romans of 2,000 years ago. I know I'm trespassing a little bit on what's socially correct here, but who cares?
How dare you?
So the people that say, oh, we're the Romans, no, you're not. You're the mixture of the people that invaded Rome, and now that's what right? The Visigoths come from Sweden. You know, they came down and plundered. So that's what the mixture is. The mixture, the current Mayans today are not the galactic time travelers. They are the keepers of some of those traditions, some of them on the inside.
I blame the Turks. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
that was the Greek coming out.
Greek, yeah. Retsina, Uzo.
The damn Turks. I'm
I love
totally kidding.
Of course.
People are still angry, like, about all these things that supposedly happened all these years ago. I should not have brought that up.
Oh, I know. It goes on forever, our grudges. You know, let it go.
For reals.
I know.
Yeah.
We got to heal it inside us. Yes.
Yeah.
So as you start, so Christie has, you know, we've all had these experiences of time jumping, even if it's just in your dreams, or you've noticed time stretching, or as you're heading into the wall in a car accident, time slowing down. Time is flexible. Time is made up. Time is a constant, more primary than time. You are in charge.
We're coming back. Yay. We did it.
All right. So have some fun playing with time when you're driving to work, walking to work, staying at home. Take a morning and go, let me tap into the timeless. I remember a client years ago, Joy and I were at Orr Hot Springs. I'd love to do a retreat up there. This is not Harbin Hot Springs in California. That's a really cool place too. This is farther and more remote. It's up Mendocino Way, a little south of Navarro River by Montgomery Woods or Hendy Woods. I forget the name of it. One of the most pristine stands of redwoods in the country because hardly anyone ever gets there. But it's really close to Orr Hot Springs. We were there one night doing the hot springs and the ancient tubs, the 1800s, you know, old tubs and the wooden clapboard, the big pool and the other pools. And some people have clothes on and some don't and so forth. Then I go into the sauna, and there's a young couple there, a young guy, like they're 20, 19, just kids to me, right? And the girl looks at me like I'm an alien, which, you know, I'm like,
you are.
What are you?
Like, how did you know?
What are you seeing? Wait. Did my decloaking? Don't freak out, folks. Did my decloak? And she looks at me, and she looks at my eyes, and she's like, oh, my God, I know you. And then later that night, I go, okay, yeah, I get it. I'm just trying to sweat over here, so leave me alone. No, I'm kidding. So later that night, she and her boyfriend come to our cabin, you know, and she says, I just had to bring you this, Tobias. She brings me an owl feather and some other things. Now, as a shaman, you feel it, and you go, is this pure or is this controlling crap? And this is what you need to learn to do. But it felt pure with her. It felt very sweet. And she told me this whole story. Actually, she said, I have to talk to you later because I had this experience. It's my birthday today. And 5 years ago on my birthday, I met you in spirit. So she must have been in her early 20s, I guess. And then later she called me and she said, I was caught in a time loop. I was caught for thousands of years out in the desert, you know, and I couldn't get out. And blah, blah, blah. And she said something happened where you showed up. And by the way, I've given permission to God Source, and we all help each other. It's not making me special here now. But you can give permission to God Source and say, use my image, use my higher self. You can use it as my higher self sees fit, whether I'm conscious of it or not. And she said, you came in and kind of helped me get out of that time loop. She was stuck. I was experiencing it, she said, Tobias. I was stuck out there for thousands of years. It was like hell, you know. It felt like thousands of years. And then finally I got out of that timeline. And it was really beautiful. Yeah. And the night before, no one knew this except me and Joy. I had an owl try to land on my arm.
Oh, wow.
Out in the woods, out in the redwoods. Oh. And I was too scared to receive him. I couldn't let him land on my... I invited him. See, it's okay if you can't do it. If you can't do it, forgive yourself. I opened my arms. He's sitting in this tree. We're almost eye level because it's a steep slope. And I put my arm out and say, come to me. There's no words. I'm just inviting him. And as you know, nature doesn't hesitate. It does. It flows with energy. He dove off, gently off that branch, flew straight towards me, was going to land on my arm. I saw that his claws would make me feel really interesting. He might have drawn a little blood, but no big deal. That's not a problem. But the change that he would have caused in my energy, because the owl in the Native American traditions is death.
Yeah.
But that's not how I view it. Owl to me is transformation. Yeah, death is a big
same thing.
Same thing. Exactly. I couldn't handle it, so I closed my eyes and pulled my arms back in across my chest, saying, no, thank you, kind of. And he just gently turned around like 5 feet from me, flew right back up to the branch, and looked at me. He teased me a little bit and said, yeah, I know. You're a wimp.
Yeah, I know. You are a wimp. Come on.
But he said... But it was no recrimination. That's the thing. With real spirit, real God, real source, there's no shaming. It's just playful, having fun with you. Well, that next night, the girl showed up, and she brought me an owl feather, and there's no way she would have known about that. So I still have it somewhere. I'm really bad at keeping track of stuff like that, but I know it exists somewhere. So why am I talking about that? Because she experienced this strange being caught in time, just to help expand our ideas of time. You know, time is flexible. Time is stretchable. Time is compressible. You can rise above time. So start intending, I want to understand time better. I am in charge of time. I am a director of time. Not from if you do it from an ego-controlling perspective, it doesn't work. But when you surrender to the Tao, to the flow, and you direct it with the flow, then it works. I know it's easy to say, it's hard to do for most of us. I can't do it. And here's where the scientific perspective falls down. When it comes up to you and goes, prove it. Do it now. Yeah. Kind of like the way Pontius Pilate told Jesus, if you're the Son of God, do something. Right?
Yeah.
Basically what he said, come on. If you're the Son of, do something. Come on, pop those chains off your wrists. What's up? And Jesus is like, well, that's the challenging perspective. It is the non-believing. It is the ego perspective. And often God himself, herself, is incredibly humble in front of that. You can say it right now. Wherever you're sitting right now, you can say, come on, God, if you're real, show yourself.
Yeah.
And
I've tried that. It doesn't really work.
Right. God's source doesn't fall for that bait. But when you're humble, God does not reveal himself, herself, to the powerful and the wise, but to babes, to innocents. God does not reveal himself on command. So there's something about surrendering, allowing, going with humility, and with true humility comes real power. With true humility comes real power. That's different than fake power.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Fake power has to be maintained all the time, And so time, receive that the idea here then tonight that time is a flexible creation. And as a master of universes, which we are or will become if you're a human being, if you choose to, and you can take as long as you want to get there, or you can accelerate it if you want as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's cool. Thanks for sharing those stories, Tobias. We're all remembering our owl stories now, too. So, it is that time, though, and apparently my speechwriter, Noelle, has a plan for us next segment, but we'll see about that. Stay tuned, everyone. SoulJourneysRadio.com.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
News and information you can trust. This is American Freedom Radio. Freedom. American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
All right, welcome back, and thanks for joining us here tonight. Soul Journeys Radio on AmericanFreedomRadio.com with Tobias. We are speaking of parallel dimensions, alternate timelines, and time travel. And yeah, I definitely think this topic deserves another week. So much more to talk about here. This is the last segment. But Tobias, I heard from my speechwriter that they're expecting a little bit more from us here tonight. What do you think?
I'm going to wash my hands of the next few minutes, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, you know what, Noelle, I tried to narrow it down to one, and I couldn't. There's two, they're kind of the same, so here we go, Noel.
Wait, I just want to say I'm against the torturing of small animals before they die.
Except when they live up your butt.
What?
There you go, Noel. I dedicate this to you from the bottom of my heart.
Yourself.
All right. And if you want more, you can go to souljourneysradio.com or go to YouTube and I guess just type in Fart Rap Instrumental, take one, and you can hear like hundreds of them, all in a 1-minute clip. So anyways, there you go. Back to our regularly scheduled show.
How do I follow this up?
Well, can you burp?
Not right now.
You know what, though? I don't know. I really love that kitty one. You know, the one that sounds like little kitties being tortured?
Yeah, like I said, for the record, I'm against these small animals being tortured.
Oh, that's funny. Kim just put on Facebook, she says, I think you meant to say with all your fart. Yeah, that makes sense, yes. I love you with all my fart. Oh, wait, yeah. Anyways, okay. So the owl thing, yeah, a lot of people were talking about different experiences they had with them as well. So I love that you're bringing these things up and the multiple timelines and such. What would you like to discuss in our last, let's see, what do we have? About 8 minutes left here tonight?
Well, I'm trying to recover. I'm trying to get back into my body.
Are you trying to clean yourself off? Those
horrible sounds of you torturing those poor galactic animals from that little star system on the other side of the galaxy.
I don't think they're horrible. I think they're cute and fun sounds.
They are kind of, actually, if you're honest. They are kind of fun.
They are. And
see?
They always lighten up a room.
They do. Either that or, you know.
It's so funny, though. People get mad. Like, even Louis, of all people, potty humor Louis is so offended by a girl farting. What? Really? Yeah. He who hath not farted cast the first stone.
Yep. Good point. I got no stones.
But if you don't let it out, you might end up with kidney stones.
I bet you can do is that scientific now? Of course it is, right?
Yeah,
do a show on this?
Yeah. Check it out. Sidney Ross Singer wrote a book. It's called Get It Out. And his website is killerculture.com. Let me try to pull that up here. Sidney Ross Singer, Get It Out. It was, I think he has about 6 books. Get It Out, Get It Up, Get It Off. Talking about that. But yeah. It literally has been proven to be at least one of the causes of diverticulitis, kidney stones, bladder infections. I mean, it's ridiculous. And, all in the name of being proper for society. It's just ridiculous. It's totally natural, and even Ayurveda. There's the 13 natural bodily functions that you are not to suppress, and farting is one of them. And it's also the funnest and makes most people laugh. I mean, it's more fun than vomiting, right?
Mm-hmm. Is Dean still holding his head in his hands going, oh, my God?
Dean who?
Dean, your boyfriend. Dean is in the room with Christie.
Yes, his head is all the way down on the floor.
During the break, Dean was going, oh, my God, this is my girlfriend doing her thing. I understand. God bless you. Freedom! No, it's all good. I told you that story. I loved it when we were out in the woods for a 3-day retreat, and we were talking about how evil it was and how wrong it was for women to fart in public, and then the quietest woman in the group, you know, the most sort of, straight-laced in the whole group, all of a sudden there's a quiet lapse in the conversation around the campfire, and she just lets rip this huge...
That's awesome.
And we must have laughed for like 5 minutes. We're like falling on the ground. It was like perfect.
And laughing is so good for you. So it's seriously one of the best things you can do for your health and prevent all those infections and stabbing pain and imbalances that, you know, are, come on, just let it out, okay? And you know, maybe most people aren't ready for that. I understand. No. So, but look at hospitals. Doctors are totally cool with it. People from other countries are cool with it. It's just us snobby, anal Americans that, oh, you can't do that. That's wrong. And your girl, especially, you can't do it. Really?
That's
okay. Fun. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Freedom for farts. There you go.
That's our new campaign.
FFF, the Freedom for Farts campaign.
I like that. I think we'll have to get that website.
Fartfreedom.com.
Fart Freedom America.
Oh, yes.
And by the way, Sidney Ross, the singer, his book, Get It Out, that's all about, eliminating these issues by, getting these things out. It's only $9.99 on Amazon, so I'll post that link in the text chat. But Sidney Ross Singer is totally awesome, and I love that he brings up these topics that people don't talk about, you know?
Yeah.
Boobies, and that's not really his word. He doesn't use that term, so please don't go beat him up if you're offended by what I'm saying here, but there's nothing wrong with going natural. I mean, does anyone get mad when an elephant farts or that lions aren't wearing boobies? Bras?
Nature knows. Nature knows what she's doing. And if you eat, and if your diet is correct, there's no stink involved either.
There's no stink involved. None. Unfortunately. Because honestly, I do miss those days. Because it was fun to just kind of let a silent one out and then leave the room and close the door and make everyone else suffer. But no, they don't stink at all. I'm kind of bummed, but no pun intended.
It's a sign of health when it's just natural gas.
Now we just have to work on bottling that or sticking. Maybe if we have a bunch of people sitting at the ends of the pipelines, that would be cool. We could feed them a bunch of McDonald's food or, cabbage and okra and Brussels sprouts and cheese. It makes people fart a lot, popcorn, and then
make money. Stay home and fart. Exactly.
We don't have to worry about oil anymore.
All right, well, I'm going to choose. Next week, we'll do some more. How about that? How about multiple existences next week? We'll talk about, I'm choosing into a different wormhole right now, away from the fart wormhole. Nothing wrong with farting, I understand. But we'll do
sense of it for me.
Multiple existences. Do we exist in multiple bodies?
Yes.
Do we have multiple existences at once? Why would my friend tell me that her new boyfriend sees her literally in other places around the country, and several people are telling her that she just appears and she calls her other self, she's aware of her. It's like she sees through her eyes. Is there multiple bodies at the same time? Do we exist on other planets at the same time as we exist here? You know, what really goes on? So this week, play with time a little bit. Go, if we created time, can we become a little bit more co-directors of time? If you just have a little time that you really want to enjoy yourself, see if you can start learning to stretch it a little bit to enjoy your... Thank you, Christie.
Darn. Speaking of time, even though it doesn't exist, apparently we are out of it here tonight. So thank you, Tobias. I love you. And thank you for sharing your wisdom with us, as always. I can't wait to go into next week, part 2. No more farting allowed. I'm firing my speechwriter. So thank you all for joining us here tonight. Have an awesome weekend. Get out there, get your hands in the dirt, get your feet in the dirt, get some sunshine. And we will see you next week, same time, same place. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evening, 7 to 9 p.m. Central. I love you all, and we will see you next time. Good night.
It's time to get real and heal. MyTrueEssence.net would like to tell you about Modifiland brown seaweed extract. It's composed of an elementally rich seaweed called laminaria. It takes 40 pounds of laminaria to make just 1 pound of Modifiland. There's nothing else like Modifiland. It is the richest in alginate, fucoidin, organic iodine, and lamarian. Alginates are the most effective organic element in nature that enable the body to rid itself of heavy metals, radioactive elements, and toxins. Fucoidin is an extremely effective anti-cancer substance found abundantly in brown seaweed. Organic iodine is the greatest protection for the thyroid offered by nature. Laminarin aids in the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Go to www.mytrueessence.net and click the Modifiland banner to get started on your path to rich health today. Also check out the Healing Shop for proven essential oils, medicinal teas, and even health coaching. It's time to get real and heal. Go to www.mytrueessence.net.
Get real and heal. Listen to Christie on Soul Journeys Radio.
You're listening to the future of talk. American Freedom Radio. This is American Freedom Radio.